Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the UFC 238 recap show. I'm your host, Simon Shelby, and today I'm going to be speaking to one of you guys. Introduce yourself.
Cole Gargano, Jiu-Jitsu Blue Belt.
I'm Jack, I'm second degree black belt in Taekwondo.
And I'm a second degree black belt in armchair casual UFC fanning. So hopefully we can give you guys some deep analysis as to what went on in the fight and just give you an overall review of the show. And obviously all these guys' links will be in the description down below, and all my links for all different stuff will be down there as well. So first off, what do we all think of UFC 238 in the general scheme?
Amazing, really hard.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Cool.
Lots of good matchups on here. I don't think any of them disappointed. All entertaining fights. I didn't see any real stinkers on there. I think there might have been one. But other than that, man, main card didn't disappoint at all.
No, most definitely. The prelims were a little bit. There was a few fights on there that I would designate as piss break fights, but most of the main card was not like that at all. It's very much enjoyable. Go on.
The only fights I didn't really enjoy was the first 2 rounds of Suarez v Ansaroff. Other than that, I honestly think every round of every fight had me going a little bit, so it's not bad at all.
See, that fight was okay, just because of how dominant
the third
Suarez
round was good.
Yeah.
The third round was interesting. When Ansaroff came into it and got into her striking, because she was lighting Suarez up on the feet. But the first 2 rounds, it was a lot of the time it was just Suarez leaning on Ansaroff, which I think to like the average viewer isn't as interesting. Obviously, we understand a little bit more what they're trying to do and stuff. So it's a bit more enjoyable. But I still think the Ansaroff in the third round made it more interesting. This was definitely more interesting. So
yeah, man, I enjoyed that fight, and Suarez maybe shouting for a title contention at 115. Strawweight
has to be.
Yeah.
She's a real problem for them.
We'll just start at the top of the card then. So, if for anyone out there who doesn't know, we had the main event of the card was Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes, and this one went down pretty interesting. We've got another new double champ in the UFC in Henry Cejudo, who is now the undisputed flyweight and bantamweight king. What do you guys think of this then? Not like just without going into the fight straight away, the fact that we've got the 4th double champion in the space of what, 4 years? 3 years?
Well, it's the new trend, isn't it? Everyone, as soon as they capture one belt, all want to go off and get the second one, don't they? Now it's the trend. So, Henry Cejudo is the 4th man to do it, as it said, and I think fair dues to him. Definitely deserved it. I think that's his most convincing win to date in terms of like big title fights. Because obviously the fight against Demetrius Johnson, split decision. Some had it going the other way, and then people argued that the fight against TJ was an early stoppage. In my opinion, absolutely no doubt in this one. Cejudo had the win without doubt. So it's by far his most convincing win in a title fight yet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the best deserved double champs that's been earned. Right? I mean, Marlon Moraes just killer. Right? There was no counting him out. Yeah. And then in Cejudo's first win, against TJ Dillashaw, and I can't say more things about how good TJ Dillashaw is. I don't think it was an early stoppage. I know a lot of people do. Don't think so, but leave that as it may. Stuff happens. He was beating TJ no matter what happened, I think. But I just think it's very well deserved. I think that he'll probably be the first one to defend both belts. I don't know if anyone's done that yet, but he'll definitely defend both belts. And I think he even said he wants to go for the third one at 145, which is just first time. So
yeah, I think go on.
I think Cormier defended both the belts, but he did it like separate times. So he had defended the light heavyweight belt, won the heavyweight belt, and didn't defend the light heavyweight again. It'd be interesting to see what happens because I reckon that's the end of the flyweight division. To be honest, I'm not sure if he'll have the opportunity to do that. So
I don't think he will. Because with Daniel Cormier, I think it was a state of that he didn't like making the weight. He didn't like going down to 205 because he was it became a kind of an infamous point that he'd always need to use the towel because he was literally starving himself and dehydrating himself so much that he to get to that 205 that he was just fucking horrible for him, which is why he went straight up to heavyweight, which made sense. But with Henry Cejudo, he seems to fit nicely into that 125, that he can make the weight quite easily. And
he got it dialed down.
Yeah.
Took him a few attempts when he first got into it, but
yeah, with the 135 as well. Obviously, he's gonna have more power. and which we saw in the TJ fight and in this fight as well. And I think he will be able to defend both belts, but without being a negative Nancy on this, I don't like it when people go straight. Like, in Conor, he never defended the featherweight belt before going up to lightweight. I didn't like that. I mean, okay, he defended the belt against TJ. Okay, fair enough. That kind of makes sense to a degree. I would have liked him to maybe defend it one more time, just to kind of solidify him as the flyweight king. After Demetrius, because that was kind of like the workhorse belt, whereby Demetrius was always defending that belt. But I would have liked to maybe do one more defense down there just to solidify him as the 125 king after beating DJ and TJ, because TJ was coming down. So I would have liked him to fight someone of natural flyweight, someone like Ray Borg or John Dodson if he's still down in 125, or someone in and around the 125 division anyway. And then move up, but hey ho, he defeated TJ, so there's an argument there to be made that he should go up and fight a bantamweight. But anyway, talking about this fight, do you guys want to try and give your analysis of what went on in this fight and how we got to the point where Henry Cejudo, who's essentially a fully blown wrestler, was able to get the KO knockout 9 seconds before the end of the fight?
Well, I think straight off the bat, the weight cut for Moraes is... He's never had to go that long in a fight for a long time. If you look at his record, all of his recent fights were with first round knockouts, second round knockouts and stuff. So he was not prepared to go 5 championship rounds, in my opinion. You can tell because he was so dominant in the first round. After that first round, no one was counting for Cejudo still at the chance because his legs were getting chewed up. He was just getting lit up on the feet, and he didn't really give much going forward. But the second and third rounds, he just looked out of it. Like he didn't have any chance. He could hardly touch Cejudo. So.
Cool.
Yeah, man. It just came out. Moraes came out, I think, stronger than Cejudo thought. Maybe. It was definitely Moraes was starting to take over. But I think that the Mike Tyson's it wasn't Mike Tyson's coach. It was Everlasting. He said it best that fighters are really defined by how do they perform when under pressure. When they're in that real adversity, when they're behind on points, they're getting lit up, what do they do? And that's really when Cejudo was able to say, okay, I'm in adversity, and it made him even more. It just lit a fire under his ass. He got out there, was swinging. He didn't do, just the regular wrestler stuff. He went out there to finish the fight, and I think that was something that was really admirable, especially for somebody who's such a high-level wrestler. And not to say anything about, the wrestlers, but they're not the biggest finishers. Cejudo was able to go out there and say, hey, I'm going to finish this fight right now, and that's what he did.
Especially on the feet as well, getting the win by TKO. Just looking at the stats as well, you can... I haven't got the round-by-round stats up, but just at the overall stats, Henry Cejudo essentially won in every stat mostly. I mean, he got a takedown, which Moraes failed twice. He had a submission attempt as well, which was the submission attempt where he tried to get a twister on Moraes.
He did. Yeah, he did try that.
Or I can't remember if I'm misremembering from a different fight. I'm not sure.
Someone. Yes, I'm not sure if it was definitely that fight. Someone at some point attempted a twister of sorts. I'm pretty sure. Or
like an anaconda choke.
Yeah, something like
that. That might have been that fight. I don't remember because it definitely wasn't the Ferguson fight. No, I think it was a Cejudo fight because I think Moraes was able to pop out.
An anaconda.
Yeah, I always get confused between the two.
Yeah, it looks similar.
Or was that? Which was the one where they were? Say again.
A twister is when you have somebody in half guard. That's why I was thinking there wasn't a twister. A twister is when you have someone from half guard, and you kind of it's an Eddie Bravo move, and you kind of come around to their back, and it really is literally twisting their spine. What I did see though, there was kind of an anaconda choke that was beginning, and the ones that are usually the anaconda, because Darce is just pretty with the anaconda. But I'm pretty sure there was either an anaconda or a Darce at one point.
Yeah, I vaguely remember calling that, and I couldn't remember which fight. I was thinking it might have been the Riviera Yam fight, but I must be misremembering. I need to go watch that fight.
So I know I haven't seen that fight yet, but I do remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, guys, if anyone's listening to this, it was at fucking 6 a.m. in the morning. I was up for it's like 21 hours in at that point. don't fucking judge me at jiu-jitsu shit, man. Allow me. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty good fight. Cejudo came out dominant. Where do we see Cejudo going from here? Like, where do we see him just straight defending the belts and try and rack up enough defenses?
I think he has to. I think if he was to go straight up to featherweight, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's wrong. I think he needs to. He's a bantamweight now. When he was doing his call out at the end of the fight, he didn't call out a single flyweight because there's no one there for him. The UFC can make no money off that division anymore. There's no one really interesting. In my opinion, I think it has to be Sterling. I also think he is the next runner. Sansao is coming off a loss to Moraes, so I can't really see him getting a shot. Dominic Cruz has been injured for so long, hasn't got a win since 2016, and obviously it'd be so unfair for like Uri Faber to get given a title shot because he's already got his fight against Ricky Simone, I think it is. Winning just that fight wouldn't then put him in title shot contention, in my opinion. So I think it's got to be Sterling, who looked phenomenal, by the way, against a very, very good fighter, Pedro Munoz. Maybe you'll see that fight. So I think it has to be Sterling versus Cejudo for the belt next.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing, man. Sterling looked amazing last night. Just the way he was moving around, he just looked so good. So, especially against a guy like Pedro Munoz too, who you can't forget it is just so good. So yeah, there's a lot of good guys in the 135s. I think there's going to be even more as time goes on. I think though that if he were to fight like next at featherweight, then you have a problem because you're holding up belts, and that's just not what anyone wants. So, and plus, I think that so it kind of depends too a lot on who wins between Holloway and Frankie Edgar. I think if Frankie Edgar wins, Cejudo's got a better shot just because of the size. But I think that Max Holloway is just going to be too big for him at 145. So Frankie Edgar, if the UFC insists upon having a triple champ, which wouldn't surprise me, they could do Frankie Edgar, or they could do. I think the best fight is Aljamain Sterling. It's down at flyweight. There's Ray Borg and
Bermudez, I think.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Joseph Benavidez too is done. So yeah, there's
Benavidez. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't want to see. I don't want to see Cejudo go up. Give me 2 seconds.
No, not yet. Yeah, I don't think Cejudo can go up just yet. To be honest,
So yeah, as I was saying, I don't want to see Cejudo go up yet. Just because I don't think he's a big enough star to go up, in the sense that putting 3 belts on someone is strapping a rocket to them. That's Conor levels of strapping a rocket to them. And I don't think Cejudo has that star power at the moment, or whether he'll ever get to a point where you could classify him as like the biggest star in the UFC. I don't think he's that. I think he's marketable, but I don't. There's just something about him that doesn't click for me. And
the cringe. It's the king of the cringe.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like if you're going to put someone as a face of your company, do you want him to come off as a cringy fighter? Do you know what I mean? If you look at Conor was like his own little entity, like his own little enigma. Then you had GSP, John Jones, Chuck Liddell. Are you really going to be saying that Henry Cejudo is on those levels of marketability? Not really. So I think to put a 3rd belt on him is strapping that rocket, but that rocket is going to blow up like the fucking Challenger, if that's the correct analogy to use. But I don't think it would work out. So I think he needs to solidify himself as a bantamweight and as a flyweight and just stick there for a while. In terms of the opponents that he called out, it's clear he was only calling out for the money fights, the Garbrandts, the Uriah Fabers, the Dominic Cruz, people who were solidified in the division but not necessarily worthy of a title shot straight out. And so it's almost like we're going to get another situation with like Conor did, where he's going to make a mockery of the weight classes and the divisions again, just to get those money fights. So in short term, this looks like a good thing because Henry Cejudo has finally become the star that he's always wanted to be. But is he now going to try and go down the whole money fight route and try and be a bigger star than he has any right to be and looking for these money fights? Only time will tell. But all I'm going to say now is I hope he doesn't get any of those fights and he does fight Sterling, the rightful contender at 135. And in terms of the flyweight division, I ain't got a fucking clue. I don't know what they're going to do with that division.
No one cares. That's the problem. No one cares. I was literally... UFC fight nights, okay? If you're fighting on the UFC fight night as a number 1 and number 2 contender, you should be the main event. I can't remember what event it was specifically, but I think it was like number 1 against number 4 or something in the flyweight. So I don't know who it was at the time, and it was like the 5th fight.
Guys.
Like, It's crazy. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I'm kind of surprised. I think that Dana said that he wasn't going to dissolve the flyweights, which is surprising me because how I always viewed it was, if you look at the UFC's agenda, they wanted TJ Dillashaw to come down and beat Cejudo. That way they could dissolve the flyweights. That's how I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Then figured, okay,
so.
they're going to make it so that they're going to have Henry Cejudo go up and win to dissolve the flyweights. So we'll see. I mean, if you look at the UFC website rankings, though, which I just noticed, there's only 12 people on there. They don't even have 15 people in that division. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. They got to figure something out for that.
Well, they axed a lot of people, didn't they? They kicked a lot of flyweights out, which is why everyone
They
was
kicked
thinking...
Sergio Pettis. I think he was the biggest one to go, I think.
He got kicked out. Did he move up to bantamweight?
Or did he move up to bantamweight, did he? I just saw him taking out the flyweight ranking. That's why. Am I wrong there?
Sergio Pettis isn't in the fucking rankings anymore.
Yeah. Not easy. That's what I'm saying. So I assumed he was cut. That's what normally it means, but I wasn't sure if he ever. That's what I think. I think they should tell the flyweights you can move up to bantamweight. I think that's fair. And don't just cut them out and together. That's what I'm saying. So
he's now in the bantamweight division.
Is he? Okay, good. I like Pettis. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, same here.
Not as good as Anthony Pettis, but I still like him. So. Okay.
So yeah, fair enough. What do we do with Marlon Moraes from here now? Obviously he's going to go back to the drawing board. Coming off a loss. Personally, I want to see him fight the person that Jack will remember. The person that I thought he was in the first place. I thought he was Pedro Munoz.
We were talking about this for literally like 5 minutes. I had no idea who we was talking about. We got so confused on that topic the other week. So.
Oh, mate, I don't know what it is about the two. They just kind of like go together. Do you know what I mean? If you put them in, it's like if you put them in a lineup like in The Usual Suspects in the film, I wouldn't be able to pick one of the fuckers out.
Munoz has hair. Just remember that Munoz has hair.
All right, now, if I look at two pictures of them together, okay, fair enough. But last week, if you put them in a lineup, I wouldn't have had a fucking clue who any of them were.
They're both Brazilian, so fair enough. Okay.
Don't turn it into like a racism thing, man. It's not a racism thing. It's just I didn't know who they were beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I get John Jones and Daniel Cormier confused as well.
Yeah.
Joke.
Oh my god.
I'm joking.
I'm glad only like 5 people are going to watch this, man, but fuck it out. Anyway. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's move on to the co-main event.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a women's knockout that good?
The one that sprung to mind was Rousey Home. That was the one that kind of came into my mind.
Similar.
Rousey got up after.
Yeah, I was going to say, Home needed to finish it off. That was just clean, one kick, boom. Literally, it literally was like being hit like a baseball bat in the head. That was crazy. It was
a gunshot to the fucking head. It was insane.
Because she kept going. What Shevchenko did, she kept hitting the legs, she kept hitting the body, hitting the legs, legs. So she wasn't expecting. So I wasn't then expecting it to come to her head. So she was getting where you see her. She goes to block low. Shevchenko goes up high, lights out, finish. And that's what she does so well. Using the range, using the height differences. That's what you need to do if you're a good striker like Shevchenko does. Makes best use of that. No, I just couldn't handle it, unfortunately.
Definitely, man. I remember I was in the live stream that I was in. Me and this guy were both watching it, and my phone lights up because it was right by. It was on my desk. I look up and I read the term. I think it was a tweet by Ariel Hawani, and it was like insane head kick knockout by Shevchenko. And my stream that I was watching was like 30 seconds behind, and I was like, holy shit! And the guy on the other line said, "Did you just read what I just read?" Yeah, I think so, but I'm not entirely sure. Hold on, let's wait to see. Oh shit, it was true! Oh fucking hell! It was insane. It's like we knew what was coming, but we weren't sure. It was like we were second guessing ourselves. And we're holy shit, Jessica, that's like Alistair Overeem levels of going into fucking orbit.
Jeez. Oh yeah. I play that knockout.
What happened was, since she was doing those body kicks the whole time, when she threw up the kick, Jessica actually went to duck her elbow down and defend a body kick. How you defend a body kick? So she goes down there and she leaves the top of her head exposed and just boom, right on there. Just no hope.
It was so perfectly on the temple.
Yeah.
Just perfect. So.
It was fucking awesome. What do we do for Shevchenko now? Like, she's solidified herself in the division. She's definitely one of the biggest names in women's MMA today, and she now seems to be the kind of person who's gonna be the champion for a while. And we were talking about before we went live earlier about was it Suarez? Tatiana Suarez, who was the headliner of the prelims. So we're all saying that because she won by decision and she was very, very dominant. She's 8-0. You know, is she going to be able to go for the title now? Is she the next contender?
She's for Andrade though.
I was going to say they're different weight class. She's a strawweight.
Oh mate, I'm having a fucking bad time today.
No, the way I see it is
fucking hell.
Honestly, the problem is I see is there is no women fighters who are on the same level as Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko. But Nunes is at that level again above Shevchenko. She's already beaten her twice, and obviously now they're in separate weight classes as well. It's just really, I'm not sure. I don't think I think they're really going to struggle to make money off Shevchenko unless someone else like Jacek did a few years ago comes into that division and makes a statement, because there's really no one for her at the moment. I just think she could be challenged against unless Nina decides to go up in weight. But even if she didn't look that impressive ultimately in the end, in the third round against her opponent, I can't remember who she was fighting now, Anzarov. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Good if you're Shevchenko though.
Yeah.
I wonder if I don't know how Shevchenko's weight cut usually is, but I wonder if she could go down and fight on. Have they fought before, Shevchenko and Andrade? I have no idea, but I'm wondering if she could go down, fight on Andrade, and be another.
I'm not sure if Shevchenko would do that, because she originally went down to flyweight. She was originally was in weight class up, so I'm not sure.
She was a bantamweight, and then she went down to flyweight.
Okay, so you can't get down there.
I'm not sure. If you look at her, I think she's ripped. Like compared to most other women fighters, she is proper.
Yeah, that's why.
So I don't know how much weight to be able to take off. So I think her sister goes in the weight below. I'm not sure they're the same weight class. But yeah, no, I don't think she can make that cut really. The only way would be for the Andrade or Nama units to go up. So.
Do you think they could? Because Andrade is quite a big girl.
She is.
With the cut, so she could go up. I don't think Rose would go up because Rose is quite skinny as it is. I don't think she would cut a lot. Yeah, she doesn't cut a lot of weight as it is. So I don't think she would, and I don't think she wants to fight for a title again, because you had the whole interview after the fight that she had where she lost to Andrade, saying, "I'm so happy I lost the title because of the pressure that was on it." So I don't think she wants to fight for a title as of yet. I think she needs to do a little bit of soul searching.
It's a shame. I still think she's better than Andrade. I honestly do. So.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm hoping. I don't know. I want to see Shevchenko fight someone of note, because as much as I want to give Jessica Ai some credit because she stepped in there with Shevchenko, to the more casual fans, I don't think a lot of people knew who Jessica Ai was. In the same kind of vein that, when Cyborg had a couple of fights at featherweight defending a belt, it was against people that they had to bring in from other organisations. Yeah. So I think it's that kind of vein whereby they're going to need to find someone of note in the UFC that casual fans know in order to establish her further as the Shevchenko.
The only one there is, the only one out there then in that case is Jacek, but she just had the most recent title shot. She got smashed by Shevchenko. That's the only other big name really in women's MMA. So
yeah, I mean, have they ever? When has that ever stopped the UFC from booking shit like that? Maybe if Joanna comes back and fights someone at flyweight,
someone else then wins.
Yeah, I think that's the way you do it, because I think Shevchenko versus Joanna again will sell more pay-per-views than Shevchenko versus Jessica Ai 2, if that makes sense. Or whatever they want to do next. So I think they need to do that, whereby Joanna comes back, gets a win against someone of a Jessica Ai's level. Yeah,
but she'd have to get that win in the flyweight division, not the strawweight division. Though.
Definitely, yeah, and I think she can do it. And I think she
maybe even Jessica Ai.
Yeah, maybe they're both coming off losses. I mean, she's looking a bit bulkier. I'm checking her out on Instagram. You know what I mean? And for research purposes, and. She's putting on a bit of timber nowadays. You know what I mean? She's been on holiday. She's had some surgery done, lads. If you not know,
Yeah, I did know about this actually. I did know about this.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know about this as well, Jack?
Yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah,
we've been doing some
my
research.
mate told me actually originally. So
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Asking for a friend, yeah.
Yeah, she's put on a bit of weight. So hopefully, if she was to cut, well, which she might have to do such a big cut down to strawweight, but maybe she wants to stay at flyweight. So hopefully, when she comes back, she can do that, and we'll get Joanna versus Shevchenko 2, or is it 3? Have they fought before?
Yeah, once before I think.
So
well, once it's flyweight anyway. I'm not sure about strawweight because that was Shevchenko's reign. Shevchenko fought her at 232, didn't she? And
yes.
They went 5-round decision for Shevchenko. I remember that one.
Let me check that again. Nunez, Pena.
Because I stayed up and watched that live. And boring. Oh, was it? No, it was 231. They had 231.
Yeah, so they've only fought once before.
Sorry, because Nunez sideboard was 232. So yeah, it was 231. Sorry.
Yeah, they've only fought once before, and that was the time that Shevchenko beat her. So I maybe see a rematch. That'd be great to see. And so I don't know what's next for Jessica Eye, if she's going to carry on in the UFC, if she was already around in the UFC beforehand, or did she come from a different organisation to fight?
Yeah, she could be in a different one because she's been around a while.
Oh, okay.
Because she originally had to compete at 145, sorry, which she didn't like doing. She was getting outclassed, and then she was able to come back down to 125. So
okay.
She's Victor, I think.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because she lost like 4 in a row, and then she won 3 in a row to get the title shot. So.
Oh shit!
I think that in itself is impressive. Not even fun of being on a 4-fight losing streak, coming back and getting a title shot. I think fair dues, but credit where credit's worth. So.
Yeah. Oh shit! She has been around for a while. I didn't know. Shows how much attention I pay to the fucking division. So moving on now, we move on to the people's main event. Tony Ferguson versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and the fight ended via TKO/KO/doctor stoppage in the second round.
/ utter bullshit. I'm not happy with this one, boys. I'm not happy.
Right, I tell you what, Jack, you just go off. Go on, tell us what happened.
Listen, I know. Listen, I don't care what anyone says. Right, that was a late punch from Ferguson. Okay. It may not have done anything, but the fact is it hit the nose. Now, people say, oh, it didn't hit the eye. What's that got anything to do with it? The nose is the reason that the eye swelled up. Because what it does is, when it breaks, yes, it was Cerrone's fault for blowing it, but that's what caused the eye to them, so the pressure went up. But still, I just think the only way they can pick is, I think they have to do a rematch. Because obviously, beforehand, the winner of this one definitely deserved a title shot. But just under the circumstances that happened, I just think I want to see it again. Plus, the fight was amazing. I think Cerrone definitely started off the stronger of the two, but when Ferguson started getting those spinning elbows in the second round, I think Ferguson won it quite comfortably. I think he would have gone on to finish him, but still, just the way it ended, I want to see that again before I see Ferguson fight for a title shot. That's the way I feel anyway.
Go on.
Yes, so I think that in the first place, it should be illegal to make this fight 3 rounds. I thought that was ridiculous.
It felt too short. It felt way too short, didn't it?
Yeah, and they gotta. I mean, if they should run it back, give these boys their 5 rounds, give these boys their main event. This could be so big. But as for the actual fight itself, I do agree Ferguson would have, I think, eventually went on to finish. But I just feel bad for Cowboy that he has to lose that fight when he's on such a tear like that. Punch after the bell. Didn't think it was deliberate. Here's the thing. You have to judge these case by case. On a lot of it is who is the guy, right? Tony Ferguson was very disappointed with himself after the fight that he threw that. He was feeling really ashamed. I don't think that he meant to throw it like on purpose. He still threw it. It's not like he didn't, but he didn't do it to do any cheating advantage or anything like that. I think he got overexcited. He's in a good scrap. He's just throwing his hands out there. Just ignores the bell. It happens. The
referee needs to do a better job of stopping him. It's his job to do that, really, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. The referee should have been in between them anyway.
Because we don't know if they hear the bell or not. That's the thing. So.
And but you got to remember as well, they're in the heat of the moment. They're in a fucking war. They both said to each other they're going to war. And when you're in that mindset, you can't always be listening out for the bell or for the 10-second clap. Now, Jack, with your point, I disagree. I don't think they need to run that back. And I've got two reasons for that. One, it primarily the fault lays with Cowboy for the swelling of the eye. In that he blew his nose. He's a professional. He's been doing this fight game for a long while. And at the end of the day, he knew what would happen, and he just got lost in the heat of the moment. I get that, and I think in a perfect world we'd get a run back. However, looking at the stats and looking at the achievements of Tony Ferguson up to this point, I think he deserves nothing but a title shot, because even on stats wise, Tony Ferguson was absolutely murking Donald Cerrone. You can just judge that by looking at the faces. Tony had a couple of marks on his chin, whereas Cerrone had to be transferred to the hospital because his face was so fucked up. I mean, every single strike that Tony landed was a significant strike. Do you know how insane that is? Every single strike he landed out of the 200, he was a significant strike. In addition to that, let me just run this up for you, okay? Rafael Dos Anjos, Kevin Lee, Anthony Pettis, Donald Cerrone. Those are Tony Ferguson's last 4 fights, and he's 12 undefeated. Are you telling me that he should fight the guy 4th in the rankings that he just beat? Okay, under a little bit of dodgy circumstances, but anyway, he fucking changed his face so much in those 2 rounds, and you're telling me that he needs to go and fight him again on a technicality, or he should get the winner of Poirier and Khabib? Like, the guy's been through the trenches, you know what I mean, and he's been starching motherfuckers, and he got the title took away from him. So if anything, he deserves it so much more than anyone I can think of to fight for the title next after Poirier Khabib. Do you know what I mean? Even if they give him a consolation of a Conor fight, I'll take that. But this guy deserves to be in the main event now. He deserves to be in the title picture or in some kind of money fight. He's paid his dues, and as much as I love Cerrone, I don't think them 2 fighting it back is going to achieve anything, because if, say for example, Tony starches him again in the next fight, which I think he would, then we're at the same point again. But if Donald Cerrone starches him in the next fight, then we've got to go to another fucking grudge match. And then Tony Ferguson's a year older, taking more damage. Khabib's got to wait for another opponent. So it'll just hold the division more so than it already has. And I think...
not young.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think in order for the betterment of the sport and the division, I think Donald Cerrone just got to take this on the back like they did with Lawler and Askren, and just say, sorry kid, shit happens, and move on. And I think Cerrone will, and I think he'll get a fight with someone like Justin Gaethje, or, you know, maybe someone else in the division, and enjoy it. And maybe we'll see this fight again for the title in a couple of years, maybe, if Cerrone and Ferguson are still fighting. But right now, I think we need to let Ferguson wait it out and either get Conor or Khabib or Poirier, and Cerrone can just heal up and come back when he's able to. I can see out of his fucking left eye, or right eye, whatever it was.
Well, in my opinion, the UFC now are in an absolute dreamland in terms of, what's it called? The money making they can make from this. Because in my opinion now, I know you said you disagree already. As I said before, I think everyone would, even though we've already had, everyone would still love to watch Cerrone versus Ferguson do it again, right? Even though we want Ferguson to have a title shot, I think people would still enjoy watching that. Now, this fight will probably take a few more months so it could happen, okay? Meaning, what they can now do in the meantime is they have a valid reason. So if Khabib beats Poirier, they can then be like, right, well, we can't wait 6 or 7 months for Poirier for Ferguson and Cowboy to fight. They then have an excuse to do the McGregor-Khabib fight again, which everyone knows, despite it's not being fair, is the biggest money in the whole organisation they can make from one single fight. So I think that's why I think the UFC may benefit from this more than the fan.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that, in the sense that I think the biggest fight that can be made is either Jones Cormier at heavyweight or Diaz Conor again. I don't think
if you go into a random group full of like 30 people you've never watched MMA before, and you ask them who Conor McGregor is, you reckon about 20 of them will know. If you ask them who John Jones is, no one will know. That's who the fight is. Ultimately, like, in terms of casual views and the money they'll bring in, I just think there's no one bigger than McGregor could be.
Not at the moment, in the sense, but I think Cormier versus Jones does a lot of pay-per-view buys, as we've seen by the stats. I don't know if you want to pull that up real quick. Versus Cormier. But anyway, I digress on that point anyway. The point is that I don't think they'll do Khabib Conor 2 just yet, because we all know he doesn't deserve it because of what happened. He got
We know that.
He got starched. I know, and I think he got starched. And at the end of the day, if the UFC book Conor Khabib 2 when Tony Ferguson is there, and you've got Khabib Poirier, what the fuck? If Khabib beats Poirier, right, then there's 2 people left for him to beat, in my opinion, Tony and GSP. And if they don't book Tony Ferguson versus Khabib, I swear to fucking everything that is holy, yeah, something needs to happen, because there is not a greater fight in the UFC lightweight division right now to make. Whether or not you want to make, I don't know, Gaethje versus Conor versus Tony versus Cerrone, whatever. Everyone knows that the fight to make is Khabib and Tony. That Joey Diaz fucking said this 2-3 fucking years ago, that's the fight to make. Do you know what I mean? That was fucking ages ago, and we still haven't seen that fight. And that needs to happen. And as much as I want to see Conor get starched again by Khabib, I can't live any longer without seeing Tony Ferguson step in a cage with Khabib. That just needs to happen, and it's just tough luck for Cerrone. He's a fighter. He knows what he's doing, and alright, he landed a blow after the bell. Shit happens, and but I don't think one punch should discount the achievements of Tony Ferguson up to this point and essentially take away a title shot. If that makes sense, for a mistake that was made after the punch.
That's the punch. I don't know if anyone. Well, I don't care about the punch, right? I think that's whatever. I don't think that has anything to do with anything. And like you said, Cerrone should know you don't blow your. I mean, there's people who don't fight that know that, right? I don't know why his corner wouldn't tell him not to do that. There's a lot of stuff weird there. But going back, so there's not a more high level matchup in the lightweight division, arguably in the whole UFC, than Tony Ferguson and Khabib. That's
Agreed.
Just as good as mixed martial arts gets. That you're getting just a guaranteed high level matchup no matter what happens, right? Now, when you take in guys like Conor McGregor, if Conor when he showed up against Khabib, you know, people like say, oh, did he show up terrible or did Khabib make him look terrible? I think it's both. I feel like Conor should stop fighting. I don't know who he's supposed to fight. Unless he wants
Gaethje.
to Cerrone. Gaethje is an interesting. Now Gaethje's kind of the dark horse of the division, right?
100%.
He has to fight somebody though. That's the thing. Whether it be I think personally Gaethje versus Cerrone is a wet dream right now. They got to do that one. So Cerrone versus Gaethje is just amazing.
Yeah.
That would be a banger. That's 100%. They should do that. If Gaethje wins that fight, then he really becomes a legit contender, certainly more legit contender than McGregor. So they got to take him into consideration as well.
Most definitely. I mean, Gaethje's coming off 2 wins to Barbosa and Vic, so he's got 2 wins under his belt.
2 incredible knockouts as well.
Yeah,
and you'll remember.
And I mean, okay, he lost to Eddie Alvarez, he lost to Dustin Poirier, but they're champions now. Like Dustin Poirier is an interim lightweight champion. Eddie Alvarez is a former champion as well. And this kid's been fucking starching people his entire career. He's only lost, twice in the UFC against fucking former champions. So this guy is a world champion contender at the very least. So he's definitely going to be fighting someone in the top 5, whether it's Cerrone, whether it's Ferguson. I don't think Ferguson, that goes against my entire point. Whether it's Cerrone, whether it's Conor. Do you know what I mean? I'm just getting carried away now. I just like matchmaking. Whether it's Cerrone or Conor, if you know what I mean, if Tony Ferguson say fights Conor McGregor, sound, but then Cerrone should fight Gaethje, and then we get Khabib Poirier, winner of, and then probably get Tony if he beats Conor to fight Khabib, because I think that's the only way to prove for Conor to prove that he's still Conor McGregor is to beat Tony Ferguson, because everyone's saying Tony Ferguson is the uncrowned king. Well, what about if Conor comes in and beats the uncrowned king? He gets to fight Khabib again. I think that's kind of the proving ground. Because everyone thinks that the only person that can beat Khabib is Tony Ferguson. He's essentially his kryptonite, or GSP, depending on who you ask. But those are 2 people who can beat Khabib. Now, if Conor can come back and beat Tony in some kind of money fight, then okay, sound, you've proven yourself again. But if he doesn't, then bye-bye, there's nothing left for you here. Maybe do a Diaz fight. That'll get 2 million pay-per-view buys. He can run off into the sunset and do whenever he wants to. But I think that's what they need to do now. They either need to book Tony versus Conor, or wait for Tony to just heal up, and then we have Khabib Poirier, and then if Khabib beats Poirier, they fight in December, and that'll be the end of the year. Because Khabib has said that he wants to fight in September. December and then March, I think, or April. So he wants to fight 3 times in the next year. So that'll be the next fight, I think. If Khabib beats Poirier, then it'll be Khabib Tony. If not, it will be Khabib versus the winner of Tony and Conor, whenever that happens, if that happens. But this is all laid on the fact that if Conor fights again, because
We'll fight Mark Wahlberg, remember?
Oh, fucking hell.
And we're getting a Tom Cruise versus Justin Bieber.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, I mean, lightweight division's stacked. I think he forgets how old these people are. Like, Wahlberg's 57, 50, I'm pretty sure as well. So.
Fucking hell. Someone messaged me this news this morning, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, I said to him, like, thanks for, sending me and stuff, but I just can't report that. Like, that's just, why would I report that? What the fuck does that matter? Who gives a fuck? Who wants to see Conor McGregor versus Mark Wahlberg? That sounds like a shitty Fast and Furious film. No one wants to fucking see that in a cage. Fucking Fast and Furious 41.
The only thing I've seen UFC officially say actually is on Twitter, UFC Canada commented on Justin Bieber's tweet, like the eye emoji. It's like, dude, shut up. It's not gonna happen. Like, shut up.
The thing that made me laugh the most is I'm not sure if you know about it. Do you have Lad Bible in America? Or was that mainly Britain?
What is it?
Because it's called Lad Bible. It's really it's like the biggest British social media thing. Basically, okay. They reported Conor McGregor. Justin Bieber challenges whoever it was, Tom Cruise, to a UFC fight. It's like so the amount of people who think the sport is called UFC is ridiculous. Honestly,
you train UFC, bro?
Yeah, it's like.
You train the UFC?
Annoying.
Do you do the UFC?
If I went up to someone like, do you train Bellator? They're not going to have a fucking clue what I'm on about, are they?
They don't say, do you train Premier League? Do you...
Exactly. Football, yeah.
I would
That's a great analogy.
That come into the gym and ask if this is UFC. He's like, oh man, is this like UFC here? And I'm like, yeah.
Is this like UFC? Yeah, bro. There's a press conference room over there.
Shane's coming later.
Yeah, man. See that there? That's the toilet that Conor McGregor uses when he comes. He just pops over. You know what I mean? He's my cousin. Fucking hell. Right. Let's move down the card. So we've got the rest of the main card to talk about. We've got Jimmy Rivera versus Peter Yan. And pretty decent fight, man. Yan fucking establishing himself in the division. I didn't know about this guy beforehand, and people are saying that he's gonna it's gonna be Sterling or him for a title shot at 135 because of like knocking down Rivera twice and just how dominant he was in that fight. So what do you guys think about that? Because the guy's 13-1, and yeah, he just started the guy established in the division.
Well, I'll be honest, right? His fight was on the only ones I didn't have time to watch, but I did watch him in UFC Moscow. And I think I told you the other week. Tom, he was impressive as hell. He dominated, and it doesn't surprise me at all that he beat Rivera. Now the problem I have at the moment in the bantamweight is I'm pretty sure a lot of the fighters are actually coming off losses, like near the top. But let me just get the rankings up real quick. Let me have a look. Okay, so they haven't updated them yet. Let me see. So Moraes is obviously coming off a loss. Assunção is coming off a loss. Pedro Munoz is coming off a loss. Cruz is coming off a loss. Garber is coming off a loss. So literally the only ones on winning streaks at the moment are Sterling, obviously Cejudo, and Jan. I'm not sure about Corey Sandhagen. I'm not sure what his last fight was. That's why it's the really difficult ones, I think, because obviously not being funny. Normally you want two people on winning streaks to fight each other and two losing streaks to fight each other then. But it looks like I reckon Jan could genuinely get a fight like maybe Munoz or maybe even Moraes, depending on the competition. I'm not sure about Garber and if he'd go for that one.
That's
I reckon
weird.
One of those two.
So. I can't believe you just pointed that out, actually. That's fucking insane. If you look at the bantamweight division, it's a fucking mockery, the top 10. Because you've got Munoz, Moraes who just lost. Then you've got Assunção who's just lost, hasn't he? Yeah,
he lost to Moraes.
Yeah. Then you've got Sterling who should be there. Then you've got
So he's
Munoz,
1-1.
who's lost as well. Cruz hasn't fought in fucking ages. Garbrandt's been starched the last couple of tight fights he's had. Rivera's just lost. Corey...
Twice.
yeah, there you go. Corey Sandhagen, is that his name?
Sandhagen, yeah.
Sandhagen.
Yeah.
What was his last fight?
See, I'm not sure who it was. I'm not sure if it was Cody Stamen or Corey Sandhagen. One of those two came with a quite impressive win. I think it was Cody Stamen though.
Corey, yeah, he just won round 1 submission the beginning of January, and then he's fighting Lineker the end of April, I think. So
yeah.
So there you go. So you've only got the guys 8, 9, 10, and number 3, who are in some kind of the green right now, and everyone else is kind of in the red. That's a fucked up.
So my opinion,
division,
Sterling
man.
goes up to number contender, I think.
Yeah, he should go up to number 1, and then Peter Yan. I think he'll jump. I think he'll jump Riviera, obviously. Probably jump Garbrandt. Probably jump Cruz. Maybe go around the 4, 5 kind of area, because Munoz will probably drop down to 4. I mean, down to 5, and then
Garbrandт will drop.
Yeah, Garbrandt's gonna drop. Yan will probably go up to 3rd, and if Sterling goes up to number 1.
I think Riviera's on his way out. To be honest, I'm not sure. He's got 4 losses in the last 3 fights. Only win is unanimous against John Dodson back in September last year. So
fucking hell, man. The guy, how old is he? Isn't he 29?
I know. It's a problem. So and before this losing streak, he was 21-1. Now he's 22-4. So
that's still impressive, though. I think he just got lost in the division though. Like,
it's recent form though, yeah.
Man, Cody Garbrandt has to win his next fight. He doesn't have a choice. He's really got to win.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I don't think they'll cut him because of how popular he is. But if he wants to properly make a name for himself, then yeah.
If he gets beat again, who's going to watch the guy?
I know, that's the thing. I don't actually know why he's so popular, because I've personally never been a huge fan. But I think it's more people don't like Dillashaw, to be honest. But
do you know what it is? Right. I remember I was watching UFC with my girlfriend. I know, boasting. Well, whatever. Shut up. And whatever. And
so was I, actually.
Yes.
With your girlfriend.
Oh shit! Oh. I was watching it with your mother. The bird.
I'm a child at heart.
I know. Anyway, so I was watching it, and it was Garbrandt and Dillashaw, and I said to her, "Oh, who do you want to win?" Garbrandt. Well, no, she didn't say Garbrandt. She said the one with tattoos. Why? Oh, I like his tattoos. Oh, okay. So there you go. That's Garbrandt. I think people like him just because he's kind of different.
Tattoos.
Yeah, tattoos. He's good looking, but and he's got an exciting fighting style. Like, he tries to be a dick in the ring by doing the fucking robot and shit like that. So he's marketable. He just doesn't win.
Yeah, I know.
Which was the problem?
He needs to keep his head.
Yeah,
in my opinion, someone I can relate him to at the moment is the Francis Ngannou, who had just lost to Derek Lewis in the worst fight in fucking history. Because Ngannou was an absolute machine. All of a sudden goes through a bit of a losing streak, loses his head. Now he made some changes. He stopped taking it so seriously. He said he tried to enjoy himself a bit more. Look at him now. Fucking knocked out Cain Velasquez in 15 seconds or so. And before that, he knocked out Curtis Blades in under a minute as well. And now he's on the roll. He's going to be fighting JDS for a number 1 contender spot, in my opinion. I think Garbrandt needs to try to do the same that. So figure out what gets him going mentally and try and work on that side of the game. Because he's got talent. Former champion. Fucking brilliant fighter. Like, you can't, not anyone beat Dominic Cruz. And yeah, he's just got to get his mental state right, in my opinion. So.
I think there was 2 reasons why Garbrandt fell off. And that was, 3 reasons then. Losing the title. I think that fucked him up. Second, I think having a kid. I think that really seems to play a big factor in fighters' mindsets. And
one of 2 ways, isn't it? Really. So.
Yeah, and 3, it's the Ngannou effect of you get so much hype pushed around you. You get Dana's dick up your ass, and you get a rocket strapped to you, and then you crumble under pressure. Same thing happened to Darren Till. Darren Till was going to be the next big thing in UK MMA and going to be the biggest star in the UFC. And then he crumbles, gets beat by Tyron Woodley, and now he's just lost his head.
Knocked out and fucking Masvidal. He's stealing taxis in Tenerife or wherever he's doing, and yeah.
Well, I think that with Cody, man, like, you need to find, if you're Cody, you got to find whoever you were when you fought Dominic Cruz, because he didn't just beat Dominic Cruz. I mean, he really should. And Dominic Cruz is a great fighter.
Oh,
And Cody really just put on a clinic. I mean, his head movement, he was rope-a-dope, but I mean, that was some of the best head movement boxing defense I've ever seen.
Head movement
in the UFC.
You think how young he was as well. Was he one of the youngest champions I've had?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
He's good. But and also I think with the TJ Dillaroid scandal going on now, it's one of those things where he's got a. I feel like he almost feels like those losses are forgiven, so maybe it'll be good for his mindset because when it happened, I know he was like, I told y'all, and all this. So I mean, he's just happier than a pig in shit right now. So we'll see what happens to him, and hope he can get back there.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, he's not even in the top 10.
Who?
Cody Garbrandt for the youngest UFC champions.
Wait, what? Seriously, how old was he when he won it? I thought he was like 26.
Yeah, the number 10 is Tito Ortiz, and he won it at 25.
How old was he then?
25.
Wow, that's crazy, really.
Yeah, man, he doesn't look it though. Shit, Cole looks older than fucking Cody Garbrandt.
I know. We all know John Jones was the youngest, but he clearly wasn't the youngest by that much. So we're talking must have been a matter of days or weeks, surely. Then so
yeah,
it's top 10. So
yeah, should we move on to the last fight on the card and then move on to the prelims just quickly?
Yeah, right. Tai Tuivasa, Brownov, Ivanovic was his name.
Yeah,
his name.
Good fight.
That's pronounced.
See, the problem with this fight was, by the end of the second round, these guys were fucking knackered, right? You even saw it with Ivanov, or whatever the fuck his name is. He had his hands on his knees at the end of the third round because he was so tired that these guys' gas tanks were absolutely gone. I predicted...
That's the problem with the fat heavyweight. Not being funny. That's often the problem with those who carry around and do it more than they need to.
Did you not see Anthony Joshua versus fucking Ruiz?
Yeah, agree. That wasn't necessarily a cardio problem, was it though? So.
Yeah. I mean, what did it finish at? Eighth round? Was it?
No, 7th. I think it was 7th.
Fuck, I don't understand boxing, man. Fucking too many rounds. Shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it was an okay fight. Tuivasa lost. And
it's 2 in a row now. It's a shame.
It could have been a big star, but again, I think
he was 10 at one point. So.
I think maybe he just fell off. Like he just started getting into the bigger competition, and he just started to fall off.
Losing to JDS, fair enough. Lots of people have done that. JDS has been around for years. He's a veteran, but losing to Grant, that guy. I mean, I think he'll be a bit gutted with that, to be honest, especially back to back. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I think the UFC is going to give him a good amount of chances. I mean,
he's very popular.
Yeah, people. I mean, I love him. I think he's awesome.
Me too.
Yeah, he's super likable guy. He'll get more chances. I don't worry about his career that much. It's not like he's going to get cut for losing this fight. I really don't worry about him. I think
it's a shame they cut Justin Willis because now that would have actually been a really good fight to make.
That made no sense.
No sense. You don't think so?
And they were supposed to fight too. They were talking shit.
Yeah. Let's say there's the rivalry they have as well. It would make it so much more interesting. That's the only reason I wanted Willis to stick around, just so he could fight Tai Tuivasa. So.
Well, he was winning too. I don't know why they cut him.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I think one thing he was not even funny. He really wasn't very popular. Like that's not being popular. Like actually being top 10 ranked heavyweight and having like 8,000 Instagram followers or something. However many he had. Like,
okay, fair enough. But there's him. You know, the whole big pretty thing. They can sell that. Who do we got here? Number 10, Shamil Abdurakhimov. Have you heard of him? I haven't. I don't know. So, I don't know.
For me, it was only ever the flyweights I never knew, and then the latter end of the heavyweight division. It's really weird how that works. I think I've always found that. So
yeah, he's number 13 right now, so he'll probably move up. What's Tuivasa at? What rank's he?
He was 10th, I think, or 11th.
11.
So he's definitely gonna bring him to the top 10, definitely. That'd be interesting to see. So he's gonna move up to 11. So he might move up. I think Shamil's fighting Curtis Blades.
Yeah,
that got announced because I remember asking him about it, and he was like, "I can't say shit."
Blades took that fight because that's 2 fights in a row now in which he's fighting a guy significantly lower ranked than him.
Because what it is, he called out Luis, Dos Santos, Ngannou, and Stipe, but they all got fights now. So that's the only thing they could
legit.
take.
Wait. Well, Lewis doesn't. Lewis obviously can't fight because he's doing fucked. He's dealing with surgery, isn't he? So.
Oh shit! Oh, did he not have a fight announced, or did he fight at the beginning of this year and then he's
Well,
out?
no, Derek Lewis fought Dos Santos. He lost, and now he's taking lots of time off. It's like basically fixed all of his injuries and stuff. Like he said, he has a really, really fucked up back, so he's getting that all sorted out finally and stuff. So
against Greg Hardy.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, he had to take a fighter, and I guess that was the best one. Plus, he's fighting in Abu Dhabi, and I'm guessing maybe this Shamil guy will be like quite a big star over there because he's from where's he from? Dagestan. So he'll be a big. Shit, he's from Dagestan. Fuck.
Same as they've got a few Dagestans in that card because they announced obviously Khabib's going to be fighting it. They confirmed. His name just got in my head. Fucking hell, he's Khabib's teammate. Oh my god, he's gone my head. Akuba or something like that.
Abu Bakr, yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure what his name is. The Makhachev. The Makhachev.
Oh yeah, because they reduced his sentence so he can fight. Yeah.
Yeah, they've announced him on that card as well. I think.
Fuck.
I think it was Makhachev.
It's not. Yeah, he's not suspended.
Yeah, he was never suspended. He was never suspended. So
this will be a good fight. I'm guessing this is obviously that part of the world, isn't it? So he'll be a big star over there, get cheered. So yeah, this will be a fucking good fight. Plus, if this Shamil guy wins, fuck, he's gonna move straight through the rankings, and we're gonna have another dominant Dagestani wrestler in the mix.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yep.
Do you want to just talk briefly about the prelims? I mean, there's one fight I want to talk about in particular, and that's the Ricardo Lamas Calvin Kattar fight.
Oh,
yeah,
that was brilliant. I didn't know much about Kattar going into that fight. He really, really impressed me. I think DC did the analysis really well for the during the live stream. Just a little touch he does with like the jab, and he just did the jab, and he hits him with a follow up, and he did that so well throughout the whole fight.
I'm proud of him, man. Like I counted him off from a bias because I've interviewed Lamas a couple of weeks before, so I was like, oh, I've got to support him now. And obviously Lamas is quite established in that division, and I thought, oh, he'll start moving his way back up now. But props to this kid, man. He's 20-3. Like, and this
he's
kid,
got some really good wins. He's got really good wins. He's got, let me see here. So Ricardo Lamas, obviously, Chris Fishgold, who we saw fight a little while ago.
Let's not talk about losing to English people.
Yeah,
we don't have many English fighters. We need to. No, exactly. Yeah. He lost to Moicano recently. That's a big loss. So
he beat Andre Philly here.
I mean,
Shane Burgos.
I just called him kid, but he's 31. He's older than fucking Riviera.
Oh, shit.
Shit.
Yeah. She.
All these fighters.
Yeah, but anyway, so he's going to take. He's just going to take what's his face, Ricardo's place in the rankings, and he'll go up top 10 probably. So
most likely. There was nothing like Carolina lost as well, which fucking surprised me.
She just didn't look good at all. Grasso looked incredible, mind.
Yeah.
She lit her up on the feet, complete. Like she was just so clinical for strikes. Every time she'd strike, she would go straight back to her guard, like literally straight away, and Carolina wouldn't be able to hit her. She just didn't have the technical ability to do so. She had obviously got a lot of heart, but it's just he couldn't touch him on the technical side.
And fucking Munoz lost as well. My boy Munoz lost.
Now that fight was amazing. I think Sterling was so good in that fight. He just kept hitting him, and he's so unorthodox, Sterling. With the angles he comes at, and where he has his hands down, then up, and Munoz just couldn't really. Because what Munoz normally does is he encourages his opponents to somehow get into a brawl with him, like a fist fight. That's what he did with Garbrandt and ended up knocking him out. But Sterling managed to stuck to his game plan, which I'm really proud of, just going in, out, staying out of range. And he did very, very well to get a win there. Sterling did so.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, shit. I mean, I'm fucking happy for it, but I just wanted my boy Munoz to win. But hey ho, shit happens.
Caitlin Chukagian there. She's another one, man. People got to look out. I think she's pretty good. I've seen her fight quite a few times. Yeah, she's doing the damn thing. Who'd she fit here? Joanne Calderwood. Yeah. Pretty solid win there. I think she's a legit contender. She'll get out there.
I missed that fight, unfortunately.
Who was that? Sorry, Caitlin. Oh, now see. Did you watch the fight yet? Right.
I did.
I don't see how one of the judges got that as 30-27. I think that first round was comfortably Joanne's.
Oh yeah, I scored a 29-28 for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I think it was 29-27. I wasn't entirely sure which way. I wasn't complaining. I wasn't moaning. In fact, Caitlin won. But whoever got that as the first round to her, that was disgrace in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
There was things like that. Same thing in the Darren Stewart though versus Bevon Lewis. Somebody gave that a 30-27.
yeah, that wasn't the third. That was a 29-28. Definitely good. Finally had a British guy win. Finally, it's been so long. Pretty much. Last week we got them in.
Go on.
We had Chris Fishbowl get submitted, and then obviously what's it called, Manoa get knocked out in the first minute, and he retired. But
Sad.
it's good. Good to have a British guy win.
God damn it, man. I mean, I funny enough, I was messaging Jimmy Manoa a few weeks ago because I was trying to arrange an interview with him, and he just said he can't. Like, I messaged him the last time that he fought before then, and he was like, I can't. I will once I've done my stitches, and then I'll message you. And I was like, oh sweet. And then I messaged him back a couple of weeks ago, and then he just saw it but didn't reply, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And then he's retired, and I'm like, God damn it, do I ask him again? Because I kind of want to interview him again, man.
Might as well. They don't do any harm.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep hassling him. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them where it's like, but it would have been awesome to get an interview with him beforehand. But fuck it, it's one of them. I've got some interviews coming out this week. By the way, everyone. Tomorrow I'll have Don Mage, the biggest fighter coming out of South Africa right now. The UFC fighter Trezano as well. I'm gonna be hopefully talking to. I got Coach. Me and you did a podcast a couple of weeks ago. That'll be coming out this week as well. And oh yeah, I never got to release the predictions, by the way, Jack, because the fucking file corrupted on me.
Oh no, did it? Oh man, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, corrupted on me. I put it into editing software. It just went nope. So fingers crossed it doesn't happen with
I
this
think
one.
this one works. Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell you what, guys, it's been a fucking fun podcast. I'd love to do. I can't wait to do this again, man. If
what you can almost do is you can almost split this up into, so you upload the whole thing, then you almost split up the separate fights, because we went in some of them a lot of detail.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I'll be putting some of it on like IGTV and all that kind of stuff. So, by the way, guys, if you all enjoyed this and you want to see us three collab more and do all this shit, then let us know in the comments and leave a like on it and all that shit. And yeah, man, I had fucking fun. This was sick. If you guys want to leave out your socials and all that stuff and whatever, happy to do that now.
No, I'm alright. I keep my stuff to myself.
Okay, I'll go then. So here's my clout chase. So Coach Cole G on Instagram, just Cole G on YouTube. All my links are going to be in my Instagram bio. I got YouTube, I got Facebook, I got Twitter. Everybody just hit me up. Let's have a conversation. Let's have some fun.
Awesome, guys. Go on. What were you saying?
I would say if you're in the UK, so in UFC, I do use the UFC fans for UK chat quite a lot. I'm quite often in there. Got a lot of hate the other day. One of my comments. Not gonna lie. So yeah, if you want to come give me some love on that, not a problem. Jack Alexander.
Awesome, guys. By the way, everyone. So these are all my links. Will be in the description. My Facebook, my Twitter, my new Discord channel that I'm gonna start for UFC fans to like post memes and talk about news and just general shit in there. I want to get that kickstarted again. I've got merch down there as well, which I'm trying to work on, even though I'm shit at Photoshop, but I'm working on it, guys. I've got some decent designs coming out. So if you want to go check that out as well, follow me on Instagram and everything like that. Subscribe, and I'll have the podcast that we're doing now. Hopefully, I'll have it coming out onto like iTunes and SoundCloud and all that shit soon. I'm trying to work it out, but I don't know. It's kind of a struggle right now because it's just hard to get used to this kind of thing. Hopefully in a couple of weeks though, I'll have it all ship-shape and shiny, and yeah, we'll be worldwide. So thanks very much for watching, and catch you guys later.
See ya.
Peace.